soul, so you can actually pull them back out, so it's actually kind of plausible. Then we have ourselves here Triumph Dragon, who actually kind of focuses on retiring specifically, so it might actually see a place in this deck. And then Tamayura herself, while she doesn't focus on retiring, she does put basically all her units into soul, so getting easy access to that wouldn't exactly hurt. Now, whether or not this is actually viable is a completely different story. More than likely, they won't be played in these decks. They could maybe see some play in these two decks here, in Gandiva and Eugene. So Eugene is kind of funny because it actually puts a bunch of cards into soul, so you actually have a good wealth of cards to choose from to call from this effect, and also it benefits from the fact that it's a retired card. Eugene is a retired focused deck. Likewise, so does Gandiva. Gandiva has a bunch of cards that just say on place, counterblast 1, retire something, and this triggers its effect. So yeah, that might actually kind of work out. Whether or not it's actually a good idea is a completely different story. And if we go down here, we'll see the Dark States side of things. For the same sort of idea, we have them all ranked in specific tiers and seeing them look if it's even beneficial. And you would think it would be more beneficial for Dark States, but in actuality, it is not. So a lot of these probably make a lot of sense. Andol can call out cards himself, right? And he also wants specific names. Lukier is already counterblast 2 in a turn, so I don't think she'll be able to make use of this. And she calls out cards from her soul herself. VN-Spam's Bruce, you have to have specifically Diabol's cards. Unica specifically usually only has triggers in soul, so you don't really want to call that out. And none of these really care too much about the retire effect either. For these, you know, you can kind of make the benefit for them, like Chaos, for example. On play Soul Charge 1, get 5k for this Rush deck. Works out pretty decently, even if you don't use the rest of these skills. Even then, calling out a Makani from Soul sounds pretty good. You know, and the retire is kind of whatever. Chronojet can probably make some use of this, especially in the early game, to just get something to on plays Soul Charge 5k. Pretty good. Probably makes a really good column with Swirler as well if they ever get that back. Barrow can technically benefit from this, right? You can technically play this. Again, Soul Charge 1, get 5k, helps you in the early game, or, you know, on turn 3, can counterblast 1 to call something from Soul, which you can then use to Soul Charge some more, maybe, if you don't have what you need. Bladmire technically has a free use of CB, since it can, you know, not need CB for its Vanguard skill, and it does selective Soul Charge, so technically I can see this work out. Whether or not it's actually played in these decks in, you know, a good capacity is a different story. But then we have Farbnio, who I think is really the only one of these that benefits the most from this donation card, because this is a sort of retire-focused deck, so it likes the retire aspect. It likes specifically higher grades than 1, because it has to reach a specific grade account in Soul, so the fact that it's a grade 2 is pretty good. Soul Charge 5k is also pretty nice, but then also it allows you to call something out from your Soul, which means you can recycle some of your cards that put themselves into Soul. More than likely you won't do this for the Persona Ride card, but you can do this for that 1 grade 3 that lets you countercharge. Granted, this is a counterblast 2 deck. For every Vanguard attacks, there's another counterblast, but you can call out countercharger, I don't know. All that to say is, there are some applications for this donation card, but I can't really make a strong case for actually playing these, just looking at these sort of at face value so far. Then real quickly, we'll go ahead and look at the Brankgate Dark States 1, who has an effect that just says on place, you look at the top cards equal to how many set orders you have, plus 1, so then you choose 1, put it into Soul, then you counterblast 1, choose a set order or a unit, add it to your hand. You know, Dark States has literally 1 set order in the entire nation, and it's in the Festival Collection. And it's generic enough where, you know, it might actually see play, but for the most part, there's nothing that really benefits from this, because there's at most Soul Charge 1. And then add a card from your Soul to hand, which might be decent, but it's restricted to grade 2 or greater, so you can't add like PGs or anything like that. So there are some applications for this. The main one that I can really vouch for here is Chaos, because it does end up Soul Charging its Persona Break Ride card into Soul, and this gives you easy access to this, technically. So that would help out the deck a little bit, possibly. But they already have, I think, the ride skip card, so probably doesn't need this at all. You know, Barrow getting a card from hand, it already has Kagraw that does that, but that kind of effect is, you know, usable in this deck, so maybe. Same sort of argument I made for Bladmire before. He puts selective Soul Charge, so you can actually get some decent cards in there. doesn't really use Counterblast as much for the most part, so you can maybe make a case for it. Whereas some of these other cards here, not really, right? Aside from the fact that they don't play set orders, they can call stuff out from, by themselves. They don't really benefit from having specific cards in Soul too much, aside from maybe Greedon, but I don't think Greedon really necessitates the need for this. It'd probably rather use all its resources somewhere else, and I don't think it benefits it really enough to warrant even a kind of benefit. Then we look here at the Brancade side of things, and things are a bit brighter here. For the most part, the things that can't play it are usually due to the fact that it's either, due to the heavy counterblast cost, or they just don't have anything in Soul that they really like to call out. Heroes is a strange one, because technically you can put Heroes up here, because they do end up randomly Soul charging, so maybe you can pull something out from Soul, including your set order. So honestly, maybe I can put Heroes up here, even though as a hero player, I'm like, I don't know about that. But, other than that, like these here, they kind of benefit from it, right? Getting a set order from Soul, not half bad. Looking at the top card, since you play a good amount of set orders in these decks, it makes it a lot more playable to select specific cards, put it to Soul, add to hand, maybe. Gravidia Mask here has, of course, many issues, one of them being that she can't really amass a board or a hand that requires her effect to go off, so being able to add some units to hand is what this deck really needs, so, maybe it'll work out. But the only decks that it really works out in is the most obvious example here, in Vanguard, who literally puts his set orders into Soul, so this allows you to very easily fetch those out, and also, Eva, who does about the same thing. She can put her set orders into Soul, and this also kind of just gives you the original Eva's effect, where you can counterblast one, look at the top number of cards equal to how many research orders you have, add one to hand. It's kind of basically the same exact thing, to be honest. But as you can see, for the most part, there are some cases that you can make for this donation card, but I can't really put my finger on any of them that heavily benefit it to the point where it's maybe worth playing. Next up, we'll go into Keter Sanctuary here, Keter Sanctuary and Brancade. So this is the one that says, on place, you choose a card, put it on the bottom of your deck, normal unit or order, then you counterblast one with the top 5, call out a unit, or essentially, it's counterblast, Soul Blast. Hey everyone, how's it going today? It is a very warm Tuesday, for me at least. I don't know, how bad this is gonna get. It seems like it's gonna get really bad. I've resorted to showing you guys my arms, which hopefully doesn't backfire on me. So I'm wearing like a tank top because I don't want to sweat and die today, because it's pretty warm and I sweat really easily, which is why we have just the one light today. So we're going to should be all right. For once, I don't look as dark. But how are you guys doing today? Hope you guys are doing all right. Miss Winter, I mean, I like spring. Why is it always got to be an extreme? Why can't we just have the best of both worlds, right? Why can't it just be like a nice, like, the highest it gets is like a 70, but there's like a nice breeze or something, right? Why does it gotta be, oh, it's just brick? It's like, oh shit, it's fucking hot, right? Why can't we just be in the middle, right? I would say fall, but fall is more winter than spring, and spring's at least like the actual in between, right? The only good thing about, I would say the only good thing about winter is I usually don't have any problems temperature-wise streaming, but this room also gets really hot in the winter, so it actually doesn't make a difference, right? It's only really in the spring for me specifically, because this room and the office that I'm in is like specifically super well insulated. So in the winter, and like I guess the heater is also really strong in this part of the house, so it just gets really hot, which is why you never ever see me wearing like a jacket or like anything like that on stream during the winter. But then in the summer, it's the opposite, where like the heat's off, but it's just hot outside. So the spring is the nice in between, where I can like turn on a fan, the heat's off, I can open up a window, there's a breeze, and like everything's all right. Out of edgelord B hero unfunny jokes will be made today. Edgelord B heroes? I don't understand. I'm sorry. What heroes? We're not getting any heroes. We're getting shadow paladins. There's not a tinge of hero here. So I don't know if I understand, unless you know what I forgot to do actually. So we'll be going over all of the stuff from this morning, which includes like basically the new shadow paladin guy, which I'm just gonna call it. But I forgot to read the lore for it, which has been unfortunate because I wanted to do that before the stream, but I just didn't have the time and or find the time to do so. So we're gonna go into this blind because I know there's a lot of like cool things that if you read the Great Cross Epic stuff, you'll be like, wow, look at that. But if you don't, you're kind of like, that's an interesting choice. But we'll get into that when we get into that, I guess. We have a couple of things to go over today. According to this, I have 100 slides again, but I don't know if I believe that. A new deck plays like B hero if you squint enough. You can't guard from base from undercover or whatever, so it doesn't count. Not even close. It's more like I want to say Dayusha maybe, but no. You also can't call from it. You can only call from skill, so no. But yeah, so we have this guy to go over. He's like Mord Leon or something like that. We have a couple of results to go over. So there's a couple of Claudine tops from this weekend. I figured this being the super Stoichia friendly chat, we can go over that as well as like some other stuff that's hot this weekend. And we'll also just hint or touch on the strategy presentation, which is actually in a little less than a month now. Wow. Really interested to see what's going to happen here, considering they kind of blew their load prematurely already with the Stride deck set. I don't know why they did that so early. My only guess is that they have something bigger planned for this presentation, or that Vanguard is just not going to get a lot of time this time around, but we'll see. Someone explained to me the Obscurate situation. I know his beef with Thegria, but is it before his simp arc with Eva? Like, headcanon is Obscurate said, screw this, I'm tired of this bitch babysitter, I'm going home. Yeah, I wish I had read the lore. Maybe we can read it together, because I don't think it's that long. So maybe we can go over the cards and then we'll take a look at the lore. But I don't actually know it myself. I should have looked it up, or I should have read it beforehand. I have it linked, right? So I at least have access to it. I just did not do so. This is prior to Obscurate meeting Eva, yeah. Which is why I had wanted to read it, because why would they release it afterwards? It's just such a weird thing. But you aren't on TFA? Okay, I figured as much. Not that there's I was gonna say, not that the card of the days have been great, but let's get into those. Starting off with this Blitz Order. That's actually really dope, as I pull out one of my 50 eyelashes from my eyeball. Why is that Claudine winning list using the PG instead of the good ones? We'll see. We'll get into that, because there's two of them. I don't remember if it was the same person, but we'll see. Incoming Barrow will use this tangent. About that. About that. So hold on. Before we get into that,
All right. Three. Okay. Sorry, I had to go answer the door before I go into my barrel-filled rant. Not that there's too much to say, to be honest. By the way, the idea for the Blitz is dope. Yeah, by the way, the Grade 2 Obscurate art is also him before he met Eva. I just find that really weird.
I'm guessing, obviously, chronologic might not be the word. The way they told the story, right? They released the cards in that order, so I guess it makes sense. It's just kind of weird. Especially if, like, the way power creep works, right? If, like, Obscurate was somehow stronger in the past. No, he's not. But I don't know. Not gonna lie, I do like the fact that we're getting some interesting ways to defend nowadays. Also, how's everyone doing? I hope you're doing well, Evan. Glad to see you back. It's funny how people go, we need defensive creep. Then we get defensive creep and the people hate it, why you not die? Yep. Good Farfneo support, that's for sure. Yeah, actually, I hadn't even considered him. This is a grade 3 and is in Dark States. Yeah, not bad. When Abdul BG happens, I know we become unkillable. I mean, to be honest, it should come soon because of the fact that Doji can already do that, right? He can already constantly recycle his PGs, so I don't see why dolls can't. I don't see why that would be a big deal. But yeah, so we have here Walk the Dog. Not the dog, but the dark. Here, that can only be, that can be played from your soul. Not only, but it can also be played from your soul, which is huge, right? And it costs Energy Blast 3. That part's not so great. Then it just says you choose one of your units, they get 15k at the end of that battle, and if you play it from soul, put it on the bottom of your deck. So a couple things here. Obviously, yes, you can play this in Barrow. Will you? However, I don't know, because it doesn't net you any soul itself, right? I don't know why it puts itself at the bottom of the deck after you use it. So I guess you can't use it constantly. They could have just gone to drop. And I don't think that would have been that bad of a thing. But in the words of the Twitter person, Jet Buff, no, get him out of here. No Jet doesn't get shit. Screw that guy. This is Barrow support and Barrow only. Even though Barrow won't really use this, because the problem with Barrow now is that among all the laundry list, right, is that we just got a grade 2 support card that replaces Curtis finally, right? It's really good for soul charging and putting cards back, but it's tied to Energy Blast, which makes you not want to run any energy cards because there's no way to generate energy in the deck. So something like this, like maybe late game, it would be nice. So maybe you can play this like a 1 or something like that, and then you can guard. I wish it was a little bit more shield or something, or it just did another thing, right? I hate that the other thing is that it can be playable from soul, and that's it. But this would see a lot of play in like other decks. Like Farmville is a really good one to have this be played in, because you can definitely use that in this deck. In that deck, you can play it from soul. You can soul charge it to grade 3. Does all these nice things. Same thing with both of these, right? They're basically the same deck. They just do slightly different. They have the same requirement, but they do different things with it. It'll work exceptionally well in that deck as well. Granted, that one doesn't like soul charge as much, but you know, it still wants those grade 3s. I don't know if that says units. I don't know if Farmville says units. I'm pretty sure it doesn't, but we'll have to. I'm pretty sure Farmville doesn't say units. I don't remember both of these, but we'll have to see. Filming cards that get guarded from soul in the old days that sucked because they were dead bricks in hand. Yeah. No, the amount of hating convinces us otherwise. This time it works both in hand and soul, so problem soul. Yeah, the problem is that it doesn't generate soul, so in something like Barrow, it doesn't really matter. In some of the other decks, sure, it's not a bad thing. Especially in something like a lot of different things. Like you can use this in Drag Jeweled, right? This counts as a grade 3. You can use the Maid to put this back into soul, get 15k attack, and then guard for 15k. That's crazy. So this has a huge amount of applications. But does Modern Day Barrow run the energy cyclers too? The deck might be tied on energy now. No. I was messing around with it. I haven't gone back to mess around because I was waiting for the rest of the festival collection stuff to come back out. And then once they did the Brant Dark States one, I was kind of disappointed. It doesn't really work for Barrel. But basically, Divine Set 1, you can use the energy cyclist and you're going to spot. Divine Set 2, you instantly have to drop it. Because you need minimum 4 energy most of the times to play the new grade 2. Because that's really the main soul charging that you do in the deck, right? That you can soul charge as quickly as possible. But using both of them, it's kind of tough. So this is obviously would not be playable if you use all 3 of them. So I kind of wish this was a little lower cost. If it was like Energy Blast 2, maybe, right? Especially since it's only like 15k shield, right? I feel like we have other Blitz orders and stuff that only cost Energy Blast 2 from set 1 that do more, but whatever. And those are commons, I think. But cost energy, can't use energy. Welcome to the why did I put my money on Sea Rumbles or Lascadia and then put them out after 2 games, even though I've been seeing that played a bunch, but who knows. It just specifies counting the sum of Dark States cards in Soul. Yeah, Farvnil. For both of these, he specifically says like grade 3, but I don't know if it says units or just cards. Doesn't Barrel always go over 15? Yeah, but you don't really want to for the most part. And even then, like, I haven't seen any Dark States run any Blitz because they're not super great, to be honest. Alright, Sea Rumbles shall see their proper with Buddha Bug. You can spam them. I mean, it works really well in Magnolia Elder. And I'm pretty sure it works really well in like a Mask and probably any of the other Starcade decks pre-Divines. But so this guy's cool. Could be a little better, but you know, he's great for what it does, I guess. I always forget to go to the full effect page, but you know, it's alright. Has some pretty good applications. Not the best applications for Barrel, like I had hoped, but I'll mess around with it and see if there's a way to play it. No room for it in your version of Elder? Oh, you mean the bad one? Don't get it. Anyways, we're going to go next to Curse of Singing Rimais here, who we're not even going to spend any time on because it's just one of these poo kaka PP cards that are commons with grade 2 8k 5k attack and shield if you're fucking losing or your opponent's playing a grade 4 or something. So next. The main problem with Blitz as a whole is just the fact that they do help, but unless you are Valeno, you aren't really getting anything to help your game plan, like some G guards did. Yeah, I kind of wish they would experiment with that. I wish they would do 2 things for Blitz orders in Standard. One, I was kind of hoping they'd just make a fighter's rule where you play them outside of the deck. I know that fucks up certain decks. Or certain cards that specify the deck, but I wish they made like an extra deck just for Blitz orders where like you can get access to them or like some sort of way to get access to them, so that way everyone has access to defensive options, right? And it doesn't clog up your deck and you don't have to get it, but you can have some sort of restriction like, oh, you can only use it 1 on turn 1, 2 on turn 2, or whatever the fuck. I don't care. Figure it out, right? R&D, do your job. Basically G guards, right? But only for Standard, because and then let it have some sort of properties as an order, right? Let it still interact with orders the way that it does with other cards in some sort of way. I don't know. The second thing I want them to do, which is more likely, is I want them to just make Blitz orders way stronger. I've talked about it before, but they basically need to design Blitz orders like they do trap cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Because they have the same timing where like you can only use a trap card regularly in Yu-Gi-Oh! On your opponent's turn, because you have to set it for 1 turn. It has to be face down for a turn. Then you can activate it. Blitz orders are basically the same thing, because you can't use it on your turn. You have to get them, and then you have to wait a turn minimum to use them, right? So to compensate for that, newer trap cards, they do all this crazy ass shit where they just have a block of text where they do like 50 different things. That's what every Blitz order should start doing. And they should also start doing more than just here's 5k shield, here's 15k shield, right? I want Blitz orders that do a whole range of different things. So here's 15k shield, also draw 2 cards, also put this card into soul, right? I want to do crazy levels of stuff that warrant playing them, like only being able to play them on my opponent's turn
in only their battle phase, and also paying a cost for most of them, right? I want that to be worthwhile. We'll see.
About to compare the two, but that kind of is the only reference for blitz cards that we have. Yeah. Obviously, easier to run in decks that are relatively new, so you don't have enough native engine pieces to fill the whole deck. Make PGs draw again, so you can have 4 slots for blitz.
I'm not against that, but the more it comes up, the more I feel up for draw PGs. But I hate the like
Homogeneous.
the fact that like in like premium everything is exactly the same. You just play
4 of the draw triggers, 4 of the in-soul crit triggers, 4 of the heal guards, right?
right. Like it's the same in standard, but
I just hate that there's just one option that's just
automatically better.
like Freezing Wave in Rotovisor, still a bad deck, but damn, Freezing Wave blocks like a motherfucker as the game goes on. Yeah.
Like a
Blitz Denial Griffin,
yeah, something like that. I would not be against that, right?
anything that does more than just get 5k shield, even if it's like helping me set up, right? If it says like Soul Charge 5, right? Like how G guards do, where it's like you play it, but also like, I don't know, you put something to soul draw 1. Let the blitz orders do that shit too, but like even more, right? I want them to like warrant the fact that you need an entire turn. Imagine we get a Guardian Perm. That's like
That would have to be like a Regalia's piece,
but it could only do it on like
you can only do it in battle, right?
so it's not like it affects main phase, so it'll just be in battle, and it'll just be like I can imagine that being like, okay, guard for 20k shield, also choose 1 column, and the units in that column, they can't activate their effects or something like that. That would be kind of cool, even if it's just for a battle. Right, even if it's for that existing battle, that'd be kind of cool. But how about this front PJs? I don't know if that really changes anything, but it would be nice to see fronts be playable. But I don't know. I want to take 1 game of Denial Griffin to change that opinion. Nah, man. I don't think it would be that bad. Especially considering it's only once per turn that you can use a blitz order. Like, it wouldn't be that bad. I'm pretty sure Denial Griffin, you can like do it multiple times, right? Per turn. Or like this is 1 singular time, unless you're Banana. In which case, just don't give it to Sir Kea. Right? Just fuck Sir Kea and don't give him a Denial Griffin.
Problem solved. We'll see. Yeah, something that plays fronts would be nice. Something that I want them all to just experiment with decks that use different trigger counts and different everything, right? They've been messing around with it a bit, like using decks that use 16 orders, right? Stuff like that. Using decks that focus around specifically critical triggers. That's cool. But want them to go back to more like breaking conventions of like, don't play any crits, right? Where it's like, oh, if you don't have any crits in your drop or whatever, I gain 30k or something like that, right? So, yeah. Not gonna lie. In a server where I play with my homies a lot, I just play fronts because the decks that do not get much power. So I just 1 card guard with a front and go about my day. Yeah. Yep. The more I play not good decks, the more I value fronts. Please give me Denial Rose. I'm begging. No. As a blitz order, no. What do you guys? You guys can't recycle blitz orders. I mean, I guess you technically can, but I don't know. Have it get bound when it gets used. Hit a card you don't need. You say that now. You say that now, but you want a fun time? Look up archives of people's reaction to Gotham pre-release and post-release. I can be trusted. Get more extreme changes in opinions in Gotham. I'm playing Undercover Shadow Paladin. Oh, baby. You're not a bot. Oh, baby. Oh, but sometimes what I did with one of my friends, we have fun making customs and running proxies, and we love integrating Rainbow into the skills. So if you have X trigger, it applies a different effect. That'd be cool. Think like I'm an Agrusia, but it gains effects. Yeah, that'd be sick. That'd be really sick. Nice spooky video, I guess. Oh, you mean that one? Okay, yeah. Don't turn everything into staples. Well, I don't know, man. Take a look at those PGs. They're SocialMedia, my ideal trigger lineup is always 6 crit, 3 fronts, 2 draws, ulti and heal. I'd rather play three draws. I feel like 2 of anything is too small, except for deck set.
Like, I've done a lot of 2-2 splits of like draws and fronts, but it depends on the decks. But
anyways, Ravaging Dragon here. Not every deck can run that combo, no. Especially sets are full. Dog, yes, unfortunately. But Ravaging Dragon. So when boosted, it gets 5k for each set order in your order zone, and if it gets 15k from this, you still blast 1. Your opponent must call 2 or more to guard. We got ourselves some Zedland support. Pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. 7 crit, 4 fronts, or draws. Yeah, I mean that's basically what anyone plays. Or just 8, depending on how aggressive the deck is. But this is pretty decent. I believe the order already gives you 5k. No, I think that's shield. I don't remember. To be honest. But having a guard restrict on a deck that has a restanding Vanguard is pretty cool. Does not even benefit from the support since he isn't wrought iron. Does that matter? Does the order only select wrought iron card? It probably only does, right? I guess maybe not. You can still use it. Come on. That's a good point. Let's see. I forgot that they had that name. Yeah, because this is technically Koto Blaze. No, not Koto Blaze. Wait, if this isn't Zedlands, what the fuck is this for? Who the hell is this for then? Because Koto Blaze has an order, but it's not a set order. Where's this place? Quick display, that's what it is. TFA meaning. There we go. It is, I think, a grade 2 order. Yeah, right here. Play this, and then this one's a set order, right? Yeah. Choose one of your units. No, you just choose any unit and it gets 5k. It's just afterwards, if it was a raw iron, then they get intercept and 5k shield. So yeah, you can play this. The fact that it's not a raw iron doesn't really matter as much, right? Granted, yeah, the 5k shield would be nice, but it doesn't really matter for this guy specifically, right? Because you're just gonna be attacking with him, I guess. But yeah. His order, I mean, yeah. It does, but not entirely. This is for Eugene and Otole stack of the 3 of the boost order. Alright, I forgot that came out of Festival Collection. Set order. Whatever we got. We got this. We got this guy that uses set or interacts with it. We got this guy. Let's do all. We got so this is a Nirvana support card is what you're telling me? Because there's nothing else. This has to be for Zedlands. Otherwise, this is like some crazy future support card. As a double rare, that's kind of wild. That this is not Zedland support. So I don't know why it doesn't have the name. Here is the card. I don't know why it doesn't have the name. That doesn't actually make any sense. Especially as a double rare, right? Like the rare has resist. I don't understand why double rare can't have the name, right? That seems silly. This to be whack. I don't know if this is not whack though. This is just not playable right now. Like it has a good effect. It just can't be played right now. Unless you use it with this. But like, I don't know. That's just weird. It has to be Zedland support. Unless they're gonna release something else that uses set orders, right? So I guess I don't know. Keep an eye out for this guy. Keep an eye out for this guy. There might be something in the future that uses them, but right now, yeah, jury's out. If it did not debut in the triple drive booster, yeah, tell me about it. Unfortunately, but hopefully he gets him and Luan and everyone get reprinted soon. But oh well. I gotta set order 4 sets later. That makes it 0 set orders. I don't know about that. Set order power card. I don't know. It might be something new in Divines in set 4 that does that, but it has to be Zedlance for now, right? Unless, yeah, no, I even looked it up. No, there's no other set orders unless I'm, you know, CFA fucked up and it didn't show me every set order. But yeah, there's just no set orders. Because we also got this girl, right? Dancing Princess of the Raging Wind, who basically does the same thing. She's a grade 1, but she says when she attacks, she gets 5k. If 3, she gets 15k. This really doesn't do anything for Zedlance, right? It sucks that it's not a booster, but who the hell else uses set orders, right? So I don't know, that's a mystery. I assumed it was just Zedlance, but then I forgot that they have an archetype name. So we'll have to wait and see. Because I don't think they can release any other decks in Dragon Empire in set 3, right? Because I think all the triple rares and everything are kaput for set 3. So this has to be for the future. I just, I don't know. It's just strange that they would specify such a specific mechanic that only one single deck uses now, and then maybe another future deck. But like, did that really need a double rare slot? So I don't know. Is that grade 1's what it says? OG Era 1. Yeah, and then like the set order is a grade 2. So I mean, like, you can use it turn 2 to technically, right? But I think Zedlance, the order, or does it matter? You just have to have a Zedlance, which I guess the grade 2s are that? I don't remember. Hopefully the grade 2s are. If not, that's kind of whack. The grade 1, yeah, okay. So you can play this turn 2, have a technically 18k attacker. So it's not that bad and move it back, but maybe the destined one for Dragon Empire will be set order line. It's gonna have to be, otherwise I don't understand this. But they cannot give. They cannot give. No, we have Koto Blaze, Soldier Doji, and Vermilion taking up the double rare, triple rare, and double rare slots for the most part. Yeah, so I really doubt they'll make a brand new deck alongside Koto Blaze and Soldier Doji. So Zedlance was plenty good attackers, right? Yeah, so I thought originally when I was putting this up, I thought it was a booster. But it says attack. And I copy and pasted it, so I mean, I can check. I can double check. Right. Surely CFA would not have a typo. No, it says attack. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't get it. Especially as a rare. I don't get it. Goofy Gilly doesn't use set orders either, right? It just has that one token, but I don't know if that really counts. Come on. Very strange. Dragon Empire card and not a Brain Cave. It'd be broken in Brain Cave. But yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand. And this one, and then they release an order, and it's a normal order. So I don't know what's going on. Now there's literally only 2 set orders, 3 in all of Dragon Empire, right? There's a Nirvana one that they don't use, and then there's the Festival Collection one and the Zedlance one, and that's it. To give Varder a mid-set order that features banger art now, and players will beat that up. Yeah, but I don't think they do that where they feature the protagonist on cards like that, aside from like the high rarity stuff. It's not like, you know, Digimon where you have all the protagonists written on the cards. 25 Thunderbolt, essentially, yeah, except Thunderclaps, it's like TM26. Not gonna lie, my friend jump scared me with this because I was hoping for the Vermilion card that they tricked me into telling that this was. My heart hurt, bro. I mean, it technically is a Triumph Dragon. Yeah, I was gonna check if this works in Triumph Dragon because it's like for Thunder Dragons, but this is Counterblast 1, so you sure as fuck don't want to play that in Triumph Dragon, but technically you could. If this wasn't Counterblast 1, if it was like Stole Blast 1, this would be super playable. Super playable. I don't know why it's Counterblast 1 as a rare. This should have just been a common if they're gonna make a Counterblast 1. I can't think of a single Dragon Empire deck that can Counterblast 1 to retire 1 unit, and that's like a good thing for them, right? As an order, right? Like not even Gandiva, who notoriously Counterblast 1 to retire 1, but he would much rather play his own set order or his own, not his own. We'd rather play whatever that shit is called, right? So the characters and the artworks, and none of the characters acknowledge this card. Yeah, I know Yu-Gi-Oh does that, but that's usually like way after that season's over, or that series is over. But let me just double check for this fella. So, alright, yeah. So this just says Count Blast 1. It's a normal order. Kyokushinken Thunderclap. Choose an opponent's rear guards, retire. If you have a Thunder Dragon, bind it instead. You know, binding is really good. Fucks up Zorga. So, and mess them up real bad. And in terms of actual notable vanguards, this only works for yeah, Triumph Dragon, but I don't think you want to do that in this. And Vermilion. He has his own set, his own normal order, so I don't think you want to do that in that. And there are others, Thunder Dragons, but these are the only grade 3 ones. And this one and this one are the only one that have a, you know, that are main Vanguard. So considering this is a grade 3 normal order, it's not really playable in anything else. So I don't know what that's about. To accompany that, we got another Thunder Dragon, who's a Galvanic Edge Dragon here. Says when a student attacks a Vanguard, discard the top card of your deck. If it was a trigger, then choose an opponent's rear guard to retire it, and if not, get 5k. So we have a lot of cards that like mess with triggers. This set, there's quite a couple cards that say like Soul Charge or like do this, and if it's a trigger, do that. But these are okay, I guess. Thank God D-Deck's... No, D-Deck has the Thunderstrike mechanics. Thunderstrike... Doesn't Thunderstrike not really do anything? Isn't Thunderstrike just like kind of like Ritual? Like by itself, it doesn't do anything. The binding of your opponent's stuff, yeah, that sucks. But by itself, Thunderstrike is just the count of like what's bound, right? So it doesn't really matter. Unless the blood allows you to play 2 normal orders per turn. And has Thunderstrike-esque scaling effects. No way in hell this card's even play. Yeah, no. Even if the blood lets you, for whatever reason, play two of them, he would just play his own order twice. It's probably more beneficial. But even then, that's assuming his cost isn't Counterblast, right? The guy who notoriously is Counterblast 3? I don't know. Is a ritual for your opponent's mind? Yeah. So by itself, it's nothing. Your opponent's stuff getting bound is a different story. Yeah, so that's cool. I guess not the best card of the days, but you know, some interesting stuff there. But with that, we'll move on to somewhat the main star of the show for today's stream, Mord Lion or something like that, right? Yep, it is indeed edgy time. We've got ourselves Hidden Flesh Undercover Serendis, which is a starter who, shock of all shocks, when wrote upon, can draw your card. Play the Shadow the Hedgehog theme song. Where is this playing that? Oh, I probably played this. Sorry, I probably played a bunch of random crap. I either clicked the wrong thing, or it was at the end and it played through a bunch of stuff. Hey, Morty. Oh, but you know, this one's alright. It's a pretty decent little starter. Then we got ourselves Volley of Blades Undercover. You will notice that I had to put these on 2 lines, all these names, because they are long as fuck, which is the name of this stream. But Volley of Blades Undercover Onyx, I guess. It has 2 effects. First one, when it's wrote upon by the grade 0, so you have to play the grade 0. You reveal a card with Mord Lion and its card name from your ride deck. Search your deck for a up to 1 monitored thrice. Reveal it and put it in your hand and shuffle your deck. We'll see what that is next, but it's, spoiler alert, it's going to be a set order. Shows so much edge. It hurts your skin. You say she, but I don't know, to be honest. So I'm boomer enough to hear Morty and think of the ghost dumbass from Johto. And I still find it fucking hilarious that the new Obstacle Grid has 2 of in its name, so extra. Does he really? Oh my god. I also find it funny that the first ops grade is like the Knight of Black. Or like the Knight of Blackness, and just realized now, like, that's really his name, bro. That's what you are. But then the next skill here is just if you have 2 or more of the set order, he gets plus 2 again. Knight of Blackness of your God, Obscurate, you're such a loser. Oh, he's a full effect. Kind of cute. I don't know. Oh, hold on. Let's inspect. I don't know. I cannot confirm nor deny. Cramped on the English text boxes, yeah, because they have like, I don't want to say shortcuts, but basically shortcuts in Japanese to display these names. But when it comes to English, it's just gonna be fucking. Do we run those ride deck undercover cards main deck as well? No, I don't think you want to run this, but I'll have to see. I've seen the cards, right, and I obviously made the slides, but I haven't read them as thoroughly. So I don't know them that well. How was he allowed a blaster blade, but is so much of a disappointment, Alfred? What are your descendants doing? He has the blaster blade. Obscurate has the blaster blade? No way he doesn't. Ain't no way. Ain't no way that dweeb has that. Anyways, we got here monitored twice, which is yeah, a blaster blade. Unbelievable. Bastion also has one. Ugh, another dweeb. So this art looks super cool. It's also nice that it's a rare, so you can get this in higher rarity. Because it looks super cool, but it's like you know, they're like spies, I guess, essentially, and this is like the Raven spying on people. Pretty cool. But this is a set order. It goes to your order zone, and apparently this can be played from your drop, so you can actually discard this, or you can search it with the grade 2. Sorry, when you ride the grade 1, you search it, and then you can discard it to ride the grade 2, then you play it from your drop. So that's a really nice interaction. But then the main effect here is that when it's put into the order zone, look at the top 7, choose 1 card among them, put it face down as discards undercover gauge, and shuffle the deck. So you have kind of like Heroes, where you play this, look at top 7, pick just 1, and put it face down. It says any card, right? Doesn't say archetype name, doesn't say this. Do whatever the fuck you want. Unless I'm reading this wrong. Pick any card, put it undercover. It might get stuck there. I don't know if you can use it, but we'll see. It's Holy Hero. I mean, Heroes is 3 cards. This is just 1 card. He kind of does. He has a blaster armament. Same for Tegria, Griad, and other commander level Keter units. They just be giving that shit out to anyone. God damn. Blaster blade isn't technically a sword, but rather the technology. Oh. What does it do? What technology? Some of the changes that running that card of 90% of this deck requires by name as a one of his moronic. Well, he made it work for him. I don't know if I can tell him that. Fun fact: Overlord, Garmor, Lu, and Maelstrom also have blaster blade like armor. So it's just fucking vibranium in Cray. This is what you're telling me? It's just vibranium? Okay. We're playing the Tachi Brent in Keter with this one, boys. But they're handing out blaster blade like Super Saiyans. Yeah. Like, what the hell? So if 1 or 2 set orders goes to damage, we're screwed. I mean, there's ways to get it, but I don't think you need multiple copies. But I think this clears up, or this I shouldn't say clears up, but originally when Heroes came out, I wasn't sure how it worked. I thought it was that for every base, each base has their own heroes, right? So if I play it, I get hero A, B, and C, those go on that base. And then I play another base and I get C, D, E, those goes on the second base, right? And I could only like rest certain bases to get access to those heroes. But that's not how it works. It's more like Prison, where it's just a collective in some area, right? In your order zone, I guess. and you can use them from there. But this is the opposite. It's literally on that one card, right? So I think for every single one of your set orders, I might be wrong, you can only have one undercover gauge, I think. Here's him. Maelstrom? No Maelstrom here, I'm sorry. Maybe next. I'm kidding. Ever win a single game with Seekers and no one knows? Blaster Armaments, as they're called, turn emotions into power for the OG Blaster Blade. It's courage for dark determination. So it's vibranium. I got it. It's vibranium, but it's vibranium mixed with there's a bunch of analogies, but I don't think anyone's gonna get it. So I'm not gonna bother. You need minimum 3 for the main guy to get his full effect. That's right. Yeah, he's like Rotovisor. Exactly. Yeah, he gives 5k. Right. But yeah, you can play it from, since you can play it from drop, if you heal it out, you can just play it. So emotional vibranium. But yeah. Yeah, they should have given that first effect to that stupid arena. Hopefully we get a new arena that has that effect. But next up, ourselves monitoring Raveneer Undercover Auenfar. Here, you has also 2 effects. First effect is when you ride it over the grade 1, you reveal Mortaline again for your ride deck. So you can't play this in any other deck, right? Which I guess is fine. But ironically, this has some similarities to like Eva, where the grade 1 and grade 2 basically have the same exact effect when they activate when they ride over each other and they search through a set order, which is kind of funny. But this instantly gives you 2 of them, which is good. And again, you can discard that for ride, put it into your order zone when you ride the grade 3, or you can just play it that turn, whatever the case may be. So that's pretty good. And then it just says if you have 2 or more, this gets 5k. So this is kind of written like a like one of those old cards from like set 1. Like I feel like all of the old ride lines had a second effect, and it was just like get 5k because of whatever. And then the grade 2 would get 5k, the grade 1 would get 2k, right? And it's just like that, which is kind of cool. Remember when adamantium was all for plot armor metal? Where is that from? I've heard that so many times, but I don't remember where it's from. I do love the concept behind the cards. Assassins are literally fighting from outside. Yeah, I like it conceptually as well. Narcisco Ansui, looking suave in Vanguard. I don't know what that means. I'm sorry, I'm very old man. The quality of these manga decks are a big step up from the first attempt. I mean, this isn't a manga deck. This is Craycross Epic. So it's not a Youthquake. This isn't Youthquake. This is Craycross Epic, which is just from technically just lore, right? Right. That's the shit Wolverine had. But yeah, grade 1, grade 2 do the same thing. Get you the set order. You can discard it, and then play it from drop, or just play that turn, whatever you want. Pretty cool so far. And then finally, we got the big man himself here, Poison Knight of Silence Undercover, Mortaline here. I don't know what the poison part has to do with anything, but maybe that's just lore specific. First effect is the Rotovisor-like effect, where if you have 3 or more monitored thrice in your order zone, all of your units that have undercover in their names get 5k. So if you play anything else that doesn't have undercover, then it doesn't matter. So that's alright. Then the main effect here, maybe not the main effect. The second one is probably the third one's the main effect, but we have an axe skill once per turn. Energy Blast 2. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck. Equals the same number of monitored thrice without undercover gauges in your order zone from among them, and put them face down as undercover gauge on each monitored thrice without undercover gauges, and shuffle the deck. So basically, I don't understand how this will work, because I'll have to see the other cards, because I didn't really see the supporting cards. But essentially, you play the order, you look at top 7, you put a card, you put it on top, and then that's the gauge. I don't know if you can have more than 1 gauge. I think you can only have 1 gauge. So when would I ever be in a situation where I don't have a gauge on something except for later on in the game. I don't know if you can use this in the early game or if this is like afterwards, after like turn 4, you know, during turn 4 or whatever, that you would use this skill. But otherwise, that's pretty good, right? That's pretty good deck thinning right there. I was kind of hoping that he'd have a Divine-esque skill, like the Aphrodite, where you could deal a damage for the auto effect. That would have been playable. That'd be interesting. Work similar to the era. Realistically, you will have only 1 gauge per order. Yeah, I believe that's how that works. Disappointed that he doesn't poison his opponent as he does in the novel. Yeah. I remember when he first revealed the name, and I think the card art too, I was trying to figure out what that could mean. You know, I expected poison to have something to do with it, with like his effect or something, but it did. Unless I'm missing something, but it doesn't seem to apply in any way, shape, or form. Which is a bit of a shame. But the last skill here is the main one. When it's attacked, Counterblast 1, choose 2 from your undercover gauge and call them each to the same column. So you have 4 attacks here. You can get a whole full column. You know, normally you can get a whole full column, 4 attacks with this deck thinning. Both from getting the order, playing the order. Order is not much of a brick because it gets your card out of deck. You can play it from drop, so it's pretty good. Pretty good deck. As soon as I saw this stuff, I was like, oh yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Wow. Katana's water concept for a poison deck was burn damage. Y'all love mentioning stuff that I don't know anything about. Or it could mean like poison trust because Optimate ended up betraying him and polluting his trust. Probably stretching a bit too much for lore. Yeah, that's what I was. If I didn't say it, that's what I meant to say. Like, that maybe it has to do more with the lore specifically of his name being the Poison Knight. But so those are his effects. So far, so good. But much like all the other cards in this set, they received like 5 cards of support for a total of like 9 or 10, right? So next up, we have here, I haven't seen a lot of these. I've like looked at them while I was doing it, but I was like creating this quickly, so I didn't get to read any of these effects. So first time reaction for you guys, right? So first effects here for the Claw of Secret Schemes Undercover Tigris. At the end of the battle of this boost, Energy Blast 2, return this unit to your hand. For common, that's fine. Could use this in any deck technically, so that's kind of nice. I like that it's a common that's playable in other decks. Whether or not this matters, I don't know, but that's cute, right? You could use this in like those decks, like the only one that comes to mind, something like Thegria, right? You can technically boost Thegria, bounces back to hand, and then discard it for Thegria's skill. So that's kind of nice, right? That's a free discard technically. So that's cool. That's playable in other decks. Poison reputation of his order and his men due to what occurred. Yeah. We'll see. Then he also says when this is put on Guardian, put an undercover card with undercover in its card name from your drop on the bottom of your deck. This gets 5k shield. So this is also technically playable in a different deck, right? Maybe there's a such thing as like an undercover engine. I don't know. Because if we go back, it's gonna take a while to get me there. Sorry. I don't know if there's a way I can quickly skip over. So far, we haven't seen any useful units, but you can only use this if you have a card undercover. So maybe you can't use the order, but maybe you can use some of the units. Maybe we'll see. Players don't have to sell their needs to Cycler Biscotti anymore. Yeah, you probably want to end up, unfortunately, selling a different body part for what's her name? Spiral Cutie, because you'll probably use that instead. But then we got ourselves the first support cards here. Maybe not the first, but the second, I should say. Because this one is, you know, technically, but not really. We got Knight of Piercing Acuity Undercover Zeus. He just has 1 skill that says you have 2 or more of the order, he gets 5k and can't be retired. Only retired. Could be put into soul, could be bound, could be whatever, just can't be retired specifically by card FX. So that's all right, I guess. I don't know if this will see play, maybe just because of the name, right? You need names right now, but this will probably get easily replaced in the future. I should drop a Scotty after that too. I mean, yeah, you probably have to, because you want to use that new grade too, and that uses energy, and that's way better. So get your whatchamacalls them right now, your spiral cuties. I've actually done this thing. Oh, I put it away. I've been doing this thing where I've been combining my decks. I did it with Shoto Doji and Snake, but I've just been combining decks and using all the same sleeves and just having like a block of cards that's just all the staples, right? And then like the rest of the cards with the same sleeves are like the rest of the like deck specific cards, right, for that deck, and I have them all in one deck box, and I basically just build a deck on the fly, whichever one I play. Right now I have Thegria and Luan together because they play basically the same, you know, staples, and then I have to get sleeves for Raziel and Luard to link those two up. And probably maybe not, and maybe Liel. I don't know. She probably plays the same shit, right? Getting her fade run by when he binds her face down. Yep. Yep. Okay, two. You should do that with your story. Yeah, that's another one I don't want to do it since I have one copy of the promo. I think I ordered a second one. So once I get the promo and then next there with Bifrons, right, I'm gonna definitely combine those two decks because there's a lot of interconnection with those two. Yeah, especially the ones that like namely that in their cards they name both of them. You should definitely do that with. But like anything, you should you should somehow just find, we play One Nation, find just one sleeve type, whatever color design you want, buy like a billion of those and just put all your cards in that, right? And just put them in like a box in the main card, and you can just, whenever you want to play, just use the same cards. Especially if you only have you, right? If you don't have like brothers or friends or whatever that use your cards, so that way you don't have to worry about playing both or whatever. But yeah. Next up, we've got the big bad man himself here, Knight of Blackness of your Undercover, Obska frickin' Dade. Here, who has 3 skills. Skill 1. So far, this is the only one that has a skill in the gauge zone. So if this card is an undercover gauge, you can Soul Blast 1, call this the back row center. So far, the only card that mentions the gauge zone other than the Vanguard, right? Then, effect 2. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with undercover in its card name, this unit can attack from the back row center column and gets 10k power. Pretty good. So now you can do 5 attacks in this deck, so that's pretty cool. Because this is for free too, so you always guarantee this attack, which is nice. So you put him in the back row, attack with him, right? You can attack with the Vanguard, call over here, right? After this column already attacked. So 5 attacks. Pretty solid deck. 5 attacks, deck thinning, consistency, pretty good. The last part here is when it attacks from it, the back row center column. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with undercover in its card name, and your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, and no drive checks were performed for this battle for your rear guard attack this turn, you can Soul Blast 1, and then at the end of this battle, he gets drive checks and drive -1. And then you put him on the bottom of the deck after that. So you get 3 drives. Also, 5 attacks, 3 drives, deck thinning. Does your levels have overly specific? Yeah, that has way too many stipulations. I don't know why I had to specify this no other drive checks part. Like, I thought I had to go back and read the main Vanguard because I thought he like gave drive checks or something, but I was like, why does that matter? I guess in a situation where like you cheat out an obscurade somehow in the back row so you can't get multiple drive checks, but like, I don't know, that seems silly. The Keter OT? That's ass if it's because of the Keter OT. Imagine you play the OT and you can't use this effect. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. If you play the Keter OT, then you won't use this effect and you'll have drives, right? So I guess it wouldn't matter. I don't know. Yeah, so you can't call 2 of these, but I don't know how you would call 2 of these. I guess technically you can call 1, have drives, and then attack with the Vanguard and technically call in that same column. I guess that counts. But like 5 drives, would that have really been that bad? Would that really, like, Luan already does that. So not even. Yeah, no, yeah, it is 5, right? Because he can get triple drive. So would that have been really that bad? Like, I don't know. But it would have definitely monopolized how you played the deck. But yeah. Which I guess is fine. Here's the text blanket for that. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. And then finally, we have ourselves here Knight of Abruptness Undercover Daira here. As soon as I read this card, I went and I bought a Keter Split for set 3. I was already kind of interested in this deck, and then as soon as I saw this, I was like, I'm not gonna be able to buy this when it comes out, so we're just gonna preemptively get a split right now, save myself the trouble while it's not $200, right? The whole split. So this has one effect, 2 effects. The first one is when it is placed on rear, if you have a Vanguard with Undercover in its card name, or is only a Shadow Paladin for the clan, counterblast 1. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose 1 card with Undercover or only Shadow Paladin, or among them, reveal it, put your hand and shuffle your deck. So obvious applications with this is that you can use this to get PGs, right? I know people say like Luard and like PBO and stuff like that, but they don't really have that many Shadow Paladin cards. I don't think. I might be wrong where this is like super applicable, but we'll see. As I just said, it's not applicable. Resort support that we've been looking for. Do you guys really need this? I mean, don't you have enough ways to like set up and get cards? Also stronger premium. Yeah, this I can imagine would be nuts in premium, especially since it's a triple rare. Not gonna lie, I was completely unaware that the Edgelord support. This was Edgelord support. I saw the Shadow Paladin Conscience. Stop reading. Reading good. Also a good card. Yeah, it is indeed. It's definitely a good card. I just don't know how great it is for PBO. Like, I guess technically you can get. No, it doesn't matter because you don't need Blasted Dark, right? So you can get Persona Rights, I guess, in PBO. And obviously, disregarding the PG, right? Other than the PG, all you really get is Persona Rights, right? There's no other real Shadow Paladin cards that you play in PBO anymore. Right? Like, you don't play Max Blaster Dark. If you could use this in MLB, it'd be cool. But this would be played in Lord, obviously. More Lion and Phantom Blaster. I mean, well, the Cat RPG will be played in above and Minerva. You would play this in. Well, you can't play this in Minerva. Because your Vanguard has to be either Undercover or Shadow Paladin. I don't know why you would play the Cat RPG in Minerva. Know what the PG is? Yeah, but you have to either be to use this effect, right? To search it, you have to either be Undercover. The Vanguard has to be either have Undercover or be a Shadow Paladin. So unless you're riding the PG, or you're writing this, which actually no, you can't write this. So yeah, you wouldn't be able to. You wouldn't have been able to play it. Should have bought Luard. Yeah. Unfortunately. Is it not available? I was hoping those things would be available. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, if you're just using it, yeah, but there's no like actual benefit for it, yeah. It doesn't have shadow units besides Blaster Dark in the main. I guess you can get in the main, but Counterblast 1 to get another Counterblast 1 seems kind of whatever. Yeah, Lure needs ritual units, so it does have a bunch of shadow units, Shadow Paladin units technically, yeah. So I guess this works in Luard. It's just Counterblast 1. I feel like might be too heavy, but I could be wrong. I don't know. Then the second effect here is when it attacks a grade 3 or greater unit, if you have either Undercover as a Vanguard or Shadow Paladin, Soul Blast 1, this gets 10k to the end of that battle. So it's actually decent in PBO because it gives them a strong attacker other than Emmeline, so they have a backup attacker if they need it. Likewise, I guess Lord gets a backup attacker. I don't know if it's gonna have enough soul for this because he has no way to generate soul, and you use soul for a few other things, but decent little card here, right? Yeah, but that PG is going to the moon. I hate that I only got 4 copies of it. So now I'm gonna have to have sleeves, like I was saying before, right? that I'm combining those decks. Now I have to have a set of sleeves that encompass Lord, PBO, Raziel, and then now Mordline, right? All of them using the same PG. Oh, like maybe not so much Raziel, but just he uses the rest of the package. Which is sucks. That's a lot of cards. But yeah. I think they sold out at your logos, but I'll double check. Yeah, I mean they should be online. It's not gonna be a fair price. I'll be honest with you, but hopefully they should be well stocked, but we'll see. I think 50 card recently got some stock of that, if anything. So undercover players need to use the Lure PGs now for lure over their wallets. They don't have to, but yeah, they're definitely they're definitely gonna want to. Is Shadow Nobia? Kind of, except better because she's top 5 instead of top 3. So you're good to get your SOs literally right now. Yeah, she's already expensive now, but she's only gonna go up, especially if this deck does well, which I don't know how this deck is gonna do. Right, considering it's in Keter, it already has a great generic pool to pull from to fill out the rest of the deck if it needs to. In terms of like what it got as its starting support, it's like fine, right? You have a decent attacker here. You have the grade 3, which is kind of whatever. You have Obscurate, which is great, and that's kind of it, right? You don't have anything too crazy. We'll get to her in a bit, because you don't, in terms of like names, you don't really have a lot, right? You have just Obscurate, you have the PG girl, you have this grade 3, you have the ride deck, and then this grade 1. Nothing too crazy for right now, right? So this will definitely be a good fun deck, but I don't see it doing anything insane where it'll make those PGs go really pricey, but I could be wrong. It does have pretty good, it's really solid mechanically. It just needs more names that do stuff. But speaking of generic Keter stuff, rares are all gone on TCG Player. Yikes, Saurus. Yeah. I'm glad I have at least 4 of them from Lord, but I'm just gonna have to use that in every deck now. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to buy like 200 count of like white sleeves or something for Keter and just put all my Keter decks in that. Param is so pretty. Yeah, she really is. I do kind of wish that they would kind of lean into the gimmick of retiring rear like Shadow Paladin, as the deck literally is Shadow Paladins in the future. Yeah, I expected that to be the case, especially with there being cards within the set that in Keter that say like retire rear or like etc, right? So I kind of thought that was what this was gonna do, but has nothing to do with retire. Maybe in the future, maybe you can like retire from the gauges. That'd be cool, because also you don't interact with the gauges a lot right now, right? Which has been unfortunate. The only thing you do is that you interact with it with the order when you set stuff, with the Vanguard when you call stuff, and with Observate when he calls himself out. That's it. Which is kind of lame. There's no grade 2 that like attacks, put itself into the gauge or something, like, I don't know. So we'll see. Apparently the grade 1 support triple rares are randomly spread in between sets. Yeah. So if we combine all of the grade 1s, I mean, I don't know. I would say you would, but I guess you can't because this is Keter. Because I thought what they did is that they released Shenri, they released Dog, Salragon, then they released the Branking one, which is kind of whatever, and then they released the Sterkea one. And then yeah, they did a Dark States one with Bifrons, right? So I thought what they were gonna do is like, okay, that's basically the whole grade 1 super support gang, right? But now they're doing a Keter one again, so I guess I thought Saragon and Shinri were part of that gang, but apparently not. They're not at all. They're on their own. One is stupid in Welstra. I've been seeing that in Welstra listen. I don't understand why. I feel like that card is just straight ass. From what I remember playing it, but I'll have to give it another shot. I did play it in Rotovisor, which is probably why I thought it was straight ass. But I think that puts itself into Soul to look at top 5 for its set order. So maybe that's right. But yeah, I know they're promos, but I expected them to just release grade 1s for each nation that do that. But maybe we'll get, you know, different versions of grade 1 generic supports that will, I guess, be promo to accompany Shinri and Saragon, because there clearly is like a theme between those, right? So we'll see. But with magic of threaded connections here, Param here. There's 2 effects. One, when it says place on rear, during your main phase only. So you can't even do this in right phase. Counterblast 1, choose up to 1 card equal, less than, or equal to your Vanguard from your hand, call it to rear. And if you did draw a card, so it's just Melty, essentially. I think literally the same wording because you can't use Melty in battle, right? And then if you have a great tier greater Vanguard and you have 4 more units, this gets plus 5k. I kind of wish they threw away the great tier greater part. Or I wish it was one or the other, right? Like I wish this and here was an or. That would make this pretty cool, right? I wish this was like an or. That'd be kind of sick, but alas, it is not. If you play something wrong, it's gonna look like ass. Say, let's not do this again as they print Bifrons, which is just about as good. But this has been the like most disappointing grade 1 of them. But you know, I don't know what to say. Even Melty, when she came out, I don't think she was that good. And lo and behold, time showed us that Melty isn't that great. She's not played in any deck really, aside from maybe her own deck, which is Fortia, and that's about it. I don't think Melty sees any play really in any of the other decks. And she's still like $10 for no reason. So a Keter Melty is like fine. I don't think it specifically interacts with anything. But definitely pick this up if you can. I'm sure it'll be useful at some point. It's definitely not a bad card, but it's not as crazy as like Bifrons or any of the other ones. Specifically Bifrons, right? Just a KO one was like alright too. I can say that she's released 4 sets too late. She's similar to the Antha, got power crept hard. I mean, I guess. I don't know if there's anything better than her, per se. Because her effect is kind of unique in terms of what Keter has to offer, right? Because Saragon is different. It kind of does the same thing, but not really, right? So, but yeah, she's definitely going to be released earlier. Only deck besides Living Noise that wanted to throw in Diantha. You used to play it in Flagberg sometimes. And Graphia. And I think that's about it. Never got really him, so no for that. What do you mean by that? Anyway, so that does it for all the stuff from this morning stream. I have some other things that I want to talk about, but we have something real cool that I saw on Twitter real quick is the fact that GameStop is selling trial decks. The Vanguard Quick Start trial decks. Stand-up trial decks, whatever the hell you want to call them. This is in Canada, but that's huge. Right? That is huge. If you've seen any of my complaints, or specifically the somewhat recent History of Vanguard video I did where I talked about how they used to sell these trial decks in Walmart. And look where we are now, in GameStop, which is, you know, just as good as Walmart. And that's cool. I have not seen these in my GameStop. I don't go to GameStop, but I will definitely now check just to see if they have that, which is pretty cool in general, right? Because as I've mentioned a bunch of times, not everyone has access to card shops in the area, right? They're few and far between. GameStops, on the other hand, almost in every corner. Of course, they don't exist where Ek is, because Ek doesn't have anything, ever. His country just doesn't have anything ever, anywhere. But in most other places, they have a lot of GameStops, right? Granted, they did, I think, go bankrupt, so there's a lot less of them. But it is still, you know, more, you will find, right? You will find more GameStops than card shops in your area. I can probably guarantee you that, for the most part, right? Yeah, there's still a few GameStops downtown. The fact that the mainstream Vanguard product is effectiveless trial deck saddens me, but oh well, baby steps, yeah. And that's what I was gonna get into next, is that it is so disheartening that this is the impression that we leave on mainstream audiences. Like, everyone's going bankrupt, honestly, yeah. But it just sucks that, you know, this is what you get. And I would love it for once for me to be able to, like, proudly have someone get into Vanguard with just word of mouth, and they can, like, go wherever and find it. I hate that for me to get someone into Vanguard, I have to guide them through it so that they don't, like, get stuff like this or something like that. But maybe it'll be fine for some people, right? They'll find out afterwards. Like, I'm thinking just normies, or like just people that just don't know Vanguard. They'll find this, maybe look at the art, think it's cool, learn the game, maybe, right? Hopefully they'll get past the fact that it has no effects and be okay. But and then play the game, and then later on be like, oh damn, that product was actually ass. But yeah, they really need to ASAP do this again, right? But then with actual playable trial decks. They don't have to be like meta defining, but they have to be a lot more playable. I want to go to Pizza Hut. Oh my god. I haven't been to Pizza Hut in a long while. I like Pizza Hut. Order from there more times than I'd like to say out loud. But what doesn't? I actually have that many McDonald's near me, which is kind of interesting. Probably why I didn't eat a lot of McDonald's growing up, or at least in my like teenage years. There was a Burger King, but the McDonald's was kind of more far away. That's that. Hopefully, you know, this is, at the end of the day, it's a positive. But I wish it would have been a bigger win, but it's still pretty huge at the end of the day. The deck site might not be good option for mainstream shops, mainly due to the price. Yeah, it'd definitely be too expensive, which is why they need like a good entry product. That's one of the biggest things we're suffering right now, is that we just do not have a good entry product. I released those videos on these decks and some other videos, right? And people have been asking me like, oh, how do I start playing? What do I start? And I'm just like, there's just no good starting point, to where I just have to say the quick start decks, or not the quick start decks, the stride decks, because that's the only complete deck product that they can get right now. Which is unfortunate. So they just need to release some sort of product just like this, with effects, just like they did that damn Virginia deck. They need to do that. They need to release, even if it's like for existing decks, right? Even if you take Barrel, reprint a bunch of shitty cards and put them into a deck, at least it's a playable deck that people can play, right? Take like Flagberg, take all the decks that you don't give a shit about, Bushiroad, right? Give them like one support card and make a trial deck product for people to play. Just make trial decks, right? Make pre-built decks. Like that, that's the wave. Just make pre-built decks so people can just go, okay, I'll play this. Boom, done. Oh well. If they can find them, I mean, hey, it's a GameStop. So, yeah, those 50 cards, base decks, exactly. That's exactly what they need to do. Which is unfortunate, because he can only make but so many of those, right? Like, I wish I could point people to those, but I mean, oh, the stride deck sets, yeah, that's it. But yeah, the best thing would be those like 50 cards base decks. That's an actual playable deck, right? And it even has like the same standards for the most part, where it doesn't have like effect triggers. It has like the Kraid trigger. That thing has like the base PGs also, but at least it's a playable deck that you can actually play with, right? And actually do stuff, learn and upgrade it as you go. Whereas like this, you use maybe what, the triggers and the grade 3 Vanguard, maybe. Yeah. Oh well. It's like you're outdated. I mean, it's still playable. It doesn't matter how outdated. You have to disregard this notion of competitive play. That's irrelevant. That's irrelevant. You do not go to like a normie, the mainstream audience, someone that hasn't played Vanguard, and tell them, okay, you have to play the most competitive thing that's out right at this point in time. Unless you know for a fact that they have a history playing all the TCGs, Yu-Gi-Ohs, and you only want to play competitive things, like at the highest level, sure, go that route. But for everyone else, right, the rest of the 90% of people that we can introduce to Vanguard, it should not be at like the highest, super fucking cleaned out, fucking, you have to have everything super perfect, you can't have any flaws in your deck. No, they should just be able to play whatever they want, have some fun, figure it out along the way. Otherwise, they're just gonna play the game probably get burnt out after like a month or two and then leave if you go down that route. So I don't think it should worry so much about that. That's that. Hopefully we'll see more good news like that in the future. Speaking of good news, for I guess you guys, their starter decks. I mean, that's still better. That's still better than not, right? That's still a product that I can buy and play. Yeah, you weren't paying attention to me when I was talking in the beginning, right? When I say Claudine top and shit. But there's also Grand Fia and also Veleno here. So this is from Fuzzy Paradox. Pulls up the top 4 from I guess this past weekend. And we got some interesting things here for once. We have here in second place a team with Pacifica and Grand Fia. Then in third place we have a team with Veleno. And then in fourth place a team with Claudine. Pretty cool. I have here the Claudine list. So you can take a look at that real quick. Unfortunately, the one Grand Fia player, or the one, like what? There's like 5 Grand Fia players out there, and Basil's not here, but we'll talk about Grand Fia anyways. So here is the Claudine list, and it's kind of similar to some of the build that I had when I was building this way back when, with some other interesting choices. So I'm mainly talking about this here, right? Because this is really good because you have to retire a bunch of units. So on ride you get these. It doesn't work like Maple where you can only call 1. You can actually call 3 of these and then just instantly retire it, right? So that works out pretty good. On deck PG, I mean, I don't think that's that big of a deal, because of the fact that they're clearly between this and this. And let's see how many orders they have. They have a pretty high order count. It seems like their plan is to just get a bunch of orders and drop, right? Because they're playing this to discard. This girl says on attack, discard an order to get 10k. So they might be playing this for maybe the power differential, or just the fact that they don't mind discarding as much because they'll probably have a lot of cards in hand. I don't know. What does your trigger lineup look like? I hate that they have all this shit. They just have one draw trigger, which is kind of insane. They're playing this guy, yeah, which you really need to be able to see this constantly. This is interesting because they're discarding a bunch of orders. Whoa, I don't know why that went over there. Discarding a bunch of orders to, I guess, always have her effect live to bind stuff. But the trap that you fall into is having to think that you have to rapidly bind stuff in Claudine so that you can get her, like, the token's big power. But that's really a trap because it doesn't really make a difference. So I guess this kind of makes sense because you can very easily bind, like if you need to, this and then bring it back. But they also have a lot of 7k cards, right? Because they have this at 7k and this at 7k. So very interesting list here. Yeah, really. 2 types of Sentinel is still funny. I mean, technically only I mean, I guess different art, yeah, but these 2 have the same effect. Crones of the Prison Dragon. Yeah, Prison Dragons doesn't really work out as much in my opinion because you want the token series then, unless you only have 1 column of the Prison Dragon, which I guess you can work out. I feel like it's a lot more complicated. It has budget written all over it. Hey, they got 4th place. I don't know what to tell you. I don't care how budget it is, right? I don't give a shit how budget it is, right? It got 4th place. Here's the Veleno list. Like, I don't give a shit if they have the trial deck triggers. If they have fucking cards with no effect, I don't give a shit. The point is that they topped, right? Anyway, so we have Veleno here with, of course, everyone's favorite Morpho here. They also have this, which is interesting because you can, I think, counterblast 1, bind it, choose 2 orders from your drop, which they're using to get back, I'm assuming this, right? Which kind of makes sense. Epilepsy warning? What did I do? Is it this? Is that too? No, that's a slow fade. I can only imagine them kept pulling the Great Jubilant onto the back row. I can't wait until all Stray Cat tops are nothing but Night Roses. I can. I can wait. And also playing 2 draws here. Which is interesting. This is like the lineup that you're talking about. 5, 2, and 4. Might have been 3 that you mentioned, but that's kind of funny. Yeah, that's for Leno. 3rd place. And finally, we have ourselves here Gran Via, who is pretty par for the course for the most part. This is interesting. Go over the Keter Sanctuary. Yeah, we did. This is interesting, obviously, for sure. Nuri and Luard. They're actually playing your girl here, whose name I'm forgetting right now. This is also really interesting. Playing the Eileen, whose Counterblast, Soul Blast one to call something from drop. That's pretty interesting, in my opinion. I don't know how you have the resources for that, but hey. Got 2nd place. Can't say anything about it. Focuses on orders would be the funniest thing ever. No. Fortunately, it's just gonna be, if it was like an encounter Night Rose, yeah, but since it's a stride deck set, it's gonna be the same thing. But yeah, that's Gran Via. So pretty interesting. TDs for lane is fine to use, I guess so. I don't know if you really have a need for it, but who am I to knock it? Yeah, Gran Via as the 3rd human existing Gran Via player enters the chat. 2nd place Gran Via list. I thought you guys would enjoy that. But we're not done. For also try format here, we have ourselves, I think, the same team. Right? No, different team. So completely different team. Maybe it's the same people, same person, who knows? But the team is different here. And they got our Claudine again in 4th place yet again with this list, which is a different list from before. So I would assume that this is a different person. So we had 2 Claudines top this weekend. And this list is pretty alright. I don't know how I feel about this per se, just because of the fact that I don't think you have that much soul. Rosarian Fairy is pretty cool, as well as Morpho's kind of interesting. Rosarian from dropped and Rosarian eats in Eileen. Yeah, I guess so. Morpho here makes a lot more sense. And it's like that Margaret is overkill. I mean, I don't know. They do that in Varga. So I don't know if you guys want to take a look at the other tops, but it's pretty standard. Yeah, there is a Messiah. Messiah's been topping a bit for whatever reason. Leopold reverse, not too shocking for V. I want to take a look at this Gabriel list for my own sake later on. Night Rose is Night Rose. Grand Gallop, or not Grand Gallop. Dimension Police here. That makes sense. This is like Maelstrom V, which is kind of interesting. I should have looked this up, but I don't know anything about V, so yeah, it's unfortunately gonna be Triple Rose, but we'll see. But yeah, that's the Grand Via, the Claudine list. Pretty cool. Phoenix Cell spams, I have to play the Angry Bear instead. So those are the tops from ESF. Then we had some tops from the I guess the Deluxe. I don't remember what they call these, but the tournament in Japan, team tournament they're having right now. So this is, I believe, a Festival Collection legal. This is our first look of, I guess, the Festival Collection meta here, which we're actually going to be getting pretty soon, in July, very shortly after set 2, which is coming up pretty soon too, right? It's like a month and a half we're getting set 2. We did have Triple Jet a year ago. Yeah, we had Triple Jets, and then we had them dominating in every format, and also every single prize was Jet, including in like Vanguard Zero. That's why I don't give a shit about Chrono Jet. When it's 2025, then I'll be nice to Chrono Jet. Unless he fucks up and starts topping everywhere and being annoying. All Brent team, yeah. Yep, got ourselves Welstra, who apparently is really good in this meta. Eva, who's made a comeback with her promo, and then Orphis, which is kind of interesting. I'll be not even dust. I'll be part of someone's atoms at that point. I'll top in 2025. Mark my words. Go ahead. As long as it's 2025, I'll cheer you Jet guys on. I swear. Just let me have 2024 Jetless. That's all I'm asking for. I just don't want to have to see Jet after literally seeing him for all of 2023, probably some of 2022. I just don't want to see him. That's it. Right? I'm sure I'm going to say the same thing about Night Rose next year. But yeah. But yeah, the only thing I really cared about, I want to take a look at the Welstra lists, but I disagree with them massively, but I'll have to play them because they are playing that grade 1. But I'll have to give them another shake. The MLB here list is cool, as well as the Showmalt list. We can also take a look at some of these Zorga lists, since I know you guys like Zorga for whatever reason. But we'll take a look at that in a bit. So that was 10th through 16th? No, 13th through 16th. This is 9th through 12th here. Got also some more interesting stuff. See Messiah again topping here. Yeah, we got fucking quintuplets here topping, which is funny. We got ourselves Unica as well, and as you can see, a bunch of Welstras all over the place. Zorga randomly started dropping off. I didn't see as much Zorga as I thought I was going to be. I don't know if it's because of this Welstra, but we'll see. I play Jet as long as I live. That's fine. As long as you guys aren't topping every single event, I can care less. And in 2025, I will officially care less. You know what? I'll make you guys a deal. I'll make you a deal. If Chrono Jet doesn't do something nasty, doesn't break any format, doesn't show up more than like 30% for the rest, right? We're like halfway through the year. For the rest of 2024, on January 8th, or whatever the closest Tuesday or Thursday is to January 8th, I will stream 3 hours just playing Chrono Jet. If you guys can give me another 6 months of it not being a prize card, of it not being a product, of it not being etc., you guys got it. You guys can have that. 3 whole ass hours of Chrono Jet. I might even extend it to just Gear Chronicle. We'll do a whole thing. Right? If you guys can give me 6 months of peace. Oh, so far, man, the first 6 months. If I can get the rest of the 6 months of 2023, we'll do that. But then, yeah, next up here, we got 5th through 8th. We've got Tamayura, which is really cool. More Wellstrom. If they do that, if they announce that, that's it, it's a wrap. If I see another Chrono Jet product or version of support or something, then maybe not support, but I don't know. Depends on how the support is. But yeah. We got ourselves Mygo still around. We got Liel here, and then yeah, we got the Flame G girls, as well as another Unica, which is really cool. So really liking how the meta is shaping out. Post Festival Collection, I feel like there's a lot to tap into Post Festival Collection. Protagonist. You're asking a protagonist card to not get support? Hey, if it happens, then the payoff will be great. Them like that in English. I mean, that's basically what I was calling them, Flamegram. So makes a lot of sense to me. Got a single support card in set 1. That's enough. It did it get a single support card? It got a promo. I don't know if it got a direct support card. We haven't gotten a single card that, aside from promos, and so far it's just been really one, that specifically names any of the Stride deck sets, right? Aside from like the one promo that Messiah and Chrono J got, and then the other promo that technically you can play it because it says Gear Dragon, but they haven't gotten any actual promos or any actual support, I should say. If they get one actual direct support, fine. But if it's something crazy broken, if it causes any problems, if any way, shape, or form Jet causes any problems, then deals off. All using those discard, recover grade 1s. I don't think they are, actually. I do not think they are. I saw a couple of those, and I don't think they are. Unfortunately, no prisms, they really dropped off. Yeah, unfortunately. But hey, there's Lyrical 1. DZBTO1. DZLBTO1, which might give them support. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't get. I'm pretty sure they'll get support considering they've only had the one wave support, right? So they should at least get that. Oops, I went the wrong way. And then finally, your top 4 here, also super interesting. Pedestals Mygo. I'm of course just highlighting the decks that aren't the usual suspects that are cool. There's Zorga, you know. There's Lutetia. And there's, of course, Fennel here. Basically, triple rank it again, essentially, right? With Fennel basically being Iridium. Or Coral Encounter takes that spot. I mean, you can still get a Coral Encounter and get Prism support, right? I'm expecting Lyrical 1 to be like Lyrical 4, where like everyone gets like 2 cards of support. But we'll see. Yeah, it does have 4 Crystal says. So, let's take a look at some of these lists. So first up, I'm sorry, it's gonna be the list that I care about. If there's anything you guys want to look at afterwards, we can take a look at that. But I'm not gonna look at something like, don't tell me to look at, oh, can you look at the Varga list? Like, I don't give a shit about that. It's just gonna be the same old. They're not gonna have anything to do. So first up, we got here the Shumwalt list that I want to take a look at. They're playing the friendship pick. Where's me? I'm not gonna be able to get the friendship pick. They're playing 4 of that, 3 of that, which makes some sense because this deck has no early game. So technically you can use this for a lot of couple things, right? You can play the Rhesus and then bounce the Rhesus back to hand. This already gets 5k, so it gives you a strong early game. You can already play this turn 2, right? And this comes out from the Soul. So this is only 4 units, I think it is. So you'll have 1 in the Vanguard, 2 in herself, 3 in this that calls out. So you just literally need 1 of the cards so you can call out this girl to have that, and then bounce this back to hand. This goes to Soul, right? You can intercept with this and then play this next turn. So it works out pretty good. And this, they ended up cutting this girl here to make space, and also the grade 2, which is interesting, which I guess makes sense, but maybe not, I don't know. And then they're still playing 2 of these, 3 of these. Everything else is generally about the same. There's no barrel is, so what is it? Yeah, this is basically all max rarity, right? Except for the one Charmo that they have in the main deck, but that might just be by choice. And also the main deck, sorry, the one Charmo they have in the ride deck, and then the main deck ride lines, because they actually have the rarity that they decided not to upgrade it for. But yeah. Doesn't get learn. God damn it. Like spending money on free card, but yeah, just Japan, not me or anything like that. Here's a Zorga list for all you tentacle weirdos. As we've talked about before. Ooh, I love that they're using this guy. That's dope. I like this guy a lot. But as has been brought up a lot, they are not using the Roman Prison Dragon. Talked about it a bunch. No Roman Prison Dragon. They love using this, and this, and this, and this. You'll basically see that in every list. They also really like the new ride line. I feel like I like the old ride line better, but this is like a mix of the 2, which is interesting. This is not roaming around for a new deck, yeah, which is wild. I don't know if that's the right call. But hey, they're doing it. The one is much better. I mean, or you mean the new ride line or the new this thing? Grade 2s are right, but I still think it's better to have both. By itself, I don't know if I can agree with that. But hey, it's been working out for the most part in Japan, right? 5k shield, yeah, but just play both. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying to play one or over the other. I'm saying just play both. Why would you not play both for the sake of consistency? You're just gonna brick a game, not see this fucking thing, and then lose. Like, I don't know why you would not want to have more consistency. You can very easily cut this out, play a fucking RPD, cut this to 3. That's 2 RPDs, and that's fine. Like, at least play 2 of them. Whatever. I'm not the Zorga player. You're not gonna miss your pieces. Yeah, if it's orders, I don't know how you're gonna get this thing into drop if you don't just draw into it. Like, even pre-karma Zorga, if you just don't see RPD, you're fucked, right? And especially since you're not playing Philander or like anything here. Whatever. Right? Yeah, no Philander either. So I don't know how the hell you're getting it in drop. What, you're calling it out with Minty Habitat? Like, why would you? I don't know, man. I don't know. I never have to play Zorga again. I mean, I'm probably gonna pick it up for this set, but we'll see. Is how they fetch it, I guess, but like, I don't know, man. Whatever. We have a bunch of other Zorga lists to look at, I think. Let's move on to another Charmant list. This one's much the same, except they keep the grade 2 at 4 copies here, but they completely dropped the grade 3, which is funny because that's what my fiance is playing right now, essentially. Very similar to this. They're also playing the yellow OT here, which is cool. So we're seeing that here. I don't think any of the other lists had any of that, right? This still plays the green one, and this is still playing the blue one. That's kind of interesting. Zorga has like 7 dozen ways to build it. Whatever the most random Aztec choices aren't really incorrect technically. I'm just saying, just be more consistent. But hey, you break, I guess. From that same team here, we also have here the MLB list, which is pretty cool because it's actually using the new promo here, and also the new promo, and the old promo, and the old promo, and another promo. So that's nice. They are using the yellow PG, which makes sense, right? Because it would just blow away if you hard guard the MLB and you would just take a crit and whatever other crits he gets along the way with the triple drive. So that kind of makes sense. Sanctitude, I guess. Yeah, that is a promo, right? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 promos, my dude. Whoo, man. Oh, man. So have a consistent game plan, of course. It's just how you get to that game plan, right? But, you know, get your karmas still in deck and then talk to me. Y'all act like you're really gonna see a 4 of every single game no matter what, but whatever. You already had Mer promos? Yeah, but that one doesn't count. That one's different because that's all on the trial deck. But this is pretty cool. I really like this card. It obviously works with this guy, right? So he becomes active, especially since you get the drives, you can power him up. So pretty cool. So that's MLB. And then let's take a look at this string, which I think is gonna just be the Zorga and the Unica in 10. Right. So we have the Unica here, which is interesting. I've seen a lot of Dark States deck bring back the clean sweep dragon, and I'm in shock that MLB did anything. I mean, MLB is really good. He's a solid deck. Maybe not in this specific format, but he's been a solid deck for a while. He's just 15k triple drive. Emmeline, like, the deck is not bad. He just doesn't really have anything to handle the cards in the format. But yeah, a lot of people are playing clean sweep dragon again to deal with Eva, and possibly also to deal with Zorga, because you can't retire Obstagrade, but you can put them in Soul. And you can put in the Karmas or whatever, put that into Soul as well. So pretty cool to see that in play. I don't know how that works in terms of like playing this, because these are both counterblasts. Granted, this is only on Persona, right? But this is a big beater that you can use to restand with this, right? But this is, I think, also a counterblast. Granted, you do have this in a counter charger, but yeah. There's a lot of Unicas over in Japan, which is pretty interesting. I say a lot, as in a lot more than usual. It also seems like the protector here makes the deck a lot more consistent because they're only playing 2 of the mask and only a single copy of the mask searcher, as well as a singular copy of Unica in the main deck. So that's really interesting. So I guess they're just not bothering with both of these, right? Because they interact with each other, right? Because this one gives this one the crit if you remove this one. They're only doing that twice per game max, which, you know, fair enough, right? Because that effect is really hard to keep up and have those bricks in your deck. But they also have this, right, to get the mass. So pretty interesting list. 1OG Eva? You mean Unica? Imagine the order cycler gets the mask. Yeah, that too. So pretty interesting for the most part. No fronts either. Usually they play fronts. But this one's just plain draws, which, you know, fair enough. You don't really plus a lot aside from Bifrons. So, and if you get triple drive from either Unica, so fair enough. Now we got ourselves here another Zorgalus, which is pretty much the same as the previous one, right? Except that they're using the retire order here, which is interesting that they whipped that out. You know, same ride line, right? RPD less, only Karma, pretty much the same orders, except there's a couple of different ones, but the main order set is the same. I'm surprised they managed to play this, considering that this is like Energy Blast and Energy Blast, and this guy's Energy Blast, but hey, whatever. But you know, somewhat stereotypical Zorgalus here. Tankiness is neat. Yeah, apparently Zorga is really tanky. So he has like the best of both worlds. You have the huge columns with the crits, and then they become super tanky because they recycle their blitz and whatnot. So pretty interesting. And then we'll jump over to the top half here. Zorga's tanky. We'll jump over to the top half here and take a look at Unica again. And this list is a little bit more par for the course for the most part. They're playing 2 copies of this. They're playing the Maid, which is interesting. They're playing the Grade 2, which I think is pretty cool. They're playing 1 Steam Claim, which is fair. Comes up, it comes up. They're playing the Queen Lu. That I don't know how that works out. Because Queen Lu, you have to have 7 or more cards in your soul. And this makes you Energy Blast 3. Soul Blast 3. Both of these effects are Soul Blast 3. So this puts herself into soul, so you have to have 3 other cards in your soul. I tried to make this work in base Unica in set 9, and it didn't work out as well. But hey, maybe you can generate way more soul now where this is usable, because that's also in main phase, right? So in main phase, you have to already have 7 cards to use this. And of course, whatever it is that you give it to, you give the guard restrict, and then this can restand it. So you get the guard restrict twice, which is also why they're playing this, right? These 2 work really well together because you can put it into soul, give something, maybe the Steam Clean, maybe this, because these all get power to attack with, and then swing in with them and then use this, but they don't get a crit or anything like that. So, you know, I don't know, I guess this gives it a better win condition because the restand is usually not that strong. So now that they can't use grade 1s also for 2 attacks, might be a grade 1 and greater, might be also pretty good. But other than that, it's about the same. Actually, no, this is kind of different because this is also only playing 2, but then none of the Mass Searcher and none of the Order Cycler. So that's kind of interesting. But they're only playing 4 heals, 2 heals for a second. I can't believe this shit comes in FR, bro. I hate that they get all the cool shit. Then next up, yeah, we have the Flame G list, which is just basically every card from the set. Nothing really fancy here, it's just every single card from the set, plus the Cycler from set 1. So, basically the basic list. The only difference is they're playing one of these in main deck, and they're playing this. And they're playing the yellow overtrigger, so. But hey, it worked out. There's not really much else to say. It's just literally one of, it's just max copies of everything that supports the deck, and then a cycler, and then Friendship Pink. So maybe that's all the deck needs. I don't know. Zerger's top 3 is kind of ass. Yeah, I don't really like her a lot. Especially because you have so few names. If you get another Flame G girl, then she'll be good. But since there's only really, you can only search like this. I don't remember. I think she adds the hand and not call. This and this, right? You have but so many few copies. You technically can also call this, but this is, or get this, but this does nothing for you for the most part. Other than like be a booster that counts as an extra name, which you can then, you know, call and have that awkward situation where there's 2 of them, but whatever. So that's interesting. I'm wave 2 support. Yeah, they should just, I don't know why they don't just make more of the girls in the band. Like it annoys me to no end that this girl with the guitar clearly in the band does not have the Flame G name. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. They should have not given her a guitar. They should have just made the main band girls that are in the goddamn band have the archetype name, right? And then just fucking make all the fans or whatever not have the archetype name. The entire deck would have been searchable. And what is the problem? Why are you making up a problem that's not a problem? So what? Let them search out the whole deck. Who cares? I don't give a shit. Search out your whole ass deck. Give them a PG while they're at it too. I'm like, I don't care. Whatever. And then the last thing I wanted to look at, I think, was the Fennel list and the Lutetia list. So here is Fennel. It is indeed using the Strategia. But they actually are using the Florencia here, where I was literally gonna make a video about how she sucks ass in Fennel. But hey, they make it work, I guess. Especially if you link it up with this, right? It's not that bad, right? You can definitely make it work. This is basically a list you can play right now. The only difference is that you don't have this. You can just put in the grade 2, the Steel Blast grade 2 support card, and you basically have this list, which is crazy that this is from like what? This came out October, November in Japan, and it's still playable several months later, and it got second with literally what, 2 new cards? Just 2 new cards, and that's it. So that shows you the strength of Fennel right there. Who wants to search a Lucaris because yikes, yeah. But yeah, this is pretty cool. This is basically my initial Fennel list, except I was playing 3 Stegra and then 2 of the grade 2 that on play Soul Blast, call something from drop. I don't see the point of this. I mean, you technically don't use energy, so I see it in that regard, but only playing 1 copy seems strange to me. Especially since you have no way to bounce it. I feel like I would probably reduce like this and this, right? Play it like a little bit more like Night Rosy, where it's like play nothing on max copies, because you could just access your deck pretty easily. So maybe squeeze in a friendship so you can like bounce stuff back to hand. Especially like getting this to bounce to hand would be really sick, because you can guard with it, use that energy. But yeah, definitely not having anything to use energy is, or use your energy on, is a bit of an issue for the deck. But you can just draw, so it's whatever. Deck does 3 attacks and stop looking at it for months, even a bunch of times, right? People have talked about it and people are still sleeping on this deck. Different Fight talked about it, people are like, eh, whatever. All right. But then the last thing we have here is going to be Lutetia. Real quick. Here, who is pretty interesting, similar to what I said about Fennel. This doesn't really have a lot of new cards for the most part, because it uses none of the cards from set 2, my favorite. Or not set 2, set 4. All of her support cards are 2 cards. None of them here. Instead we have, you know, Stegra and Friendship, which makes sense, I guess, because you can soul charge PGs, for example, call them out, soul charge triggers, call them out, bounce them with either Eureka or this, right? They went down Yuika's, I guess, because this does the same job. So I'm gonna have to do the same thing where I have like 5 lyrical decks that use the same sleeves, just so I can recycle this one girl. But Stegria's alright. I really don't want to play her in Lutetia, but I'll have to try it and see how this works. And then they play this, which is really funny because it allows you to get 4 attacks, because this says whenever you discard it, you Soul Blast one to call her out. So you can swing with like whatever, and then swing with Lutetia. Then you just go to restand, discard this, then call this over whatever. So like if you called it over Yuika, boosts Soul Blast and back out, and this can swing in. But it is a 6k, so it's kind of whatever. But it's pretty funny. It does. I don't think it's not Lutetia. It's any lyrical deck. Unfortunately, these cyclers are really good, and lyrical has 26 decks, of which like half of them Stegria is playable. So that's just how it'd be. They also have here 4 of the new promo order, only 2 of the first Sugar Sparkle, and then 4 of the Blitz order, which is interesting. I'll have to try this lineup because I'm slowly getting my copies of this here. My teammate managed to pull a full copy of this, which is nice, and then I got myself 3 of them that are coming in the mail. Also, by the way, this is max rarity Lutetia, but I got 3 of them coming in the mail, so I'll have a full playset and I can play Lutetia again, but we'll see. I'll probably have to combine Fanel and Lutetia into one thing, which sucks because I really like my Lutetia sleeves because they're like Silent Magician, and I only have like but so many of those. But hold on. But that's that. The last thing before I go, is we have the strategy presentation on the 6th month 18th day, June 18th. Max rarity, English max rarity Lutetia is about 10k Canadian. Yeah, honestly, not that much off. I'm pretty sure it's about that much, considering that Lutetia herself is like $700 max rarity. So yeah, we have the strategy presentation. We're gonna get 3 of these games, I guess technically. I still feel like my prediction that it's gonna be kind of light, possibly. Don't get your hopes up. It might just be sets 4. They might just talk about that, maybe reveal some more stuff for the anime, because I think the anime airs like shortly after this, like a month after this or something like that. Like pretty soon after this airs, the anime is gonna air. So they're gonna probably show that, probably show a trailer, talk about 1 or 3 characters, and maybe some of their cards in the set. They probably reveal like the main 4 cards that are gonna be in that set, probably, and that's probably it, right? Because I still feel like it's gonna be light on Vanguard, and that's why they showed randomly the Stride deck sets, where they really could have done that in a strategy presentation. They showed them randomly on a Tuesday stream. That's my only guess why they did that, is that there's just not enough time. So they're like, all right, just do it randomly. So yeah, we'll probably get some more information on Lyrical as well. There'll probably be a lot more information on Lyrical, but we'll see. But if they'll announce an October set, probably, maybe the November one. I don't know if they'll do that much. This one is in I forgot what this one is, in September, right? I think I have it on the next slide. This comes out in August. Yeah, so maybe the October one set 5, but I don't know. They'll probably announce set 5. Maybe they'll give us like the key art for it, but I don't know how much they can say if anime hasn't even aired. I don't know how much they can say or show, but they also like to spoil shit, so who knows? Right? And to show the deck sets, actually they couldn't. They needed to show the deck sets last week because of the pre-order window. June would have been too late for a September release. Really? Oh, all right. I mean, I guess. Dang it. It has new cards. Season 2 trailer. Yeah, it'll be definitely a Season 2 trailer. But I can't think of anything else, right? Maybe encounters for Lyrical, right? I'm assuming just Lyrical set 4, announcement of set 5, but I don't know how much they can really show because the anime. what is WB? It's White Shorts Blau. It's I think the girl version of White Shorts in that it has mainly male cards. But I don't know how well that one's doing. I used to think Wood Cross was Bushi. Yeah, no, it's not, unfortunately. So I've always wanted to try that, but no, it's not Bushi Road. It fit right in with them, but no. I can't imagine what else they'll announce. I mean, like, I always ignore the Shadowverse Evolve stuff because we're so fucking behind, and I haven't played Shadowverse in a long time. Not a long time, but a good while, just because I've been focusing on BSF, which is this weekend for me. So I don't really care for Japanese Shadowverse. They're gonna announce like what, set 12 or 11. I'm just like, great, I'm not getting this to like 2026. So for me, that's nothing for me, right? And I don't play White Shorts, and then the rest of the games are just not in English. Oh, they'll probably spend most of their time talking about this. I forgot. This is like the Quintets game, right? Is that what it was? No. Was it Quintets? What was that? Was that what it? Yeah, because it was the most random series that they announced a whole ass card game for. I could have swore it was Quintets, but maybe it's something else, right? Yeah. So that's probably what they're gonna spend a lot of their time on, because that's a brand new game. So that's cool, I guess. I mean, I don't know about an entire thing, entire card game for them, but right, pop off, I guess. There was an equivalent to indie games for TCGs. Yeah, I mean, basically that's what like Grand Archive is. And there's a good amount of like other ones. But yeah. I'll probably talk more about Dream Order also, right? So it might just be like something like, I would not be surprised if this is the kind of thing where it's just mainly Japan focused and has nothing really for us, and everyone's gonna be like, oh, boo, boo, presentation, boo, boo, boring, brr, brr, garbage, Vanguarders dying because this presentation didn't appeal to me specifically, boo, boo. But we'll see. There's also Kali Sangre, but no one's played that here. Apparently that just had its launch in Japan. Which is wild, but don't credit me on that, or don't quote me on that, but yeah. But hey, the English presentation will probably be pretty banging for us because it'll let us know the dates for set 4. Yeah, because this is just my theory of when it's coming out, but we'll know the set 4. They'll announce Night Rolls and Harry when we're getting that in English, so English presentation is looking pretty good for us, but hopefully it's at a reasonable time where I can stream it again. But we'll see. All right, we'll see what happens. This is usually yeah, it's like 1 in the morning, I guess, which is gonna be midnight again, so I'm not gonna be able to stream that. Even if I did, I'm not gonna understand it because I don't know Japanese, but we'll talk about it the day afterwards. Let's see what day of the week of that is. That is going to be a Tuesday or Monday. One of those two, I don't know, because it's in Japan, so I think it's technically our Wednesday, right? I think that's how it works. So we'll talk about it Thursday. We'll talk about it that Thursday. That game name, it is so what? Which one? Dream Order? But alright. I've been meaning to set up a thing where at the end of the stream we can have like a cooldown period, so I don't end the stream so abruptly like I usually do. But yeah, I think we'll call it for today. Gonna get some dinner for myself. Quick updates on stuff. No, I've been uploading as much recently, but that's mainly because just getting ready for BSF. Once that's done, and basically it's like June, you'll see a bunch of influx of videos, so stay tuned for that. Got a lot of things cooking as usual. And the Discord, pretty much done with that. Just have to set up a few more little things, and we'll have that open for the public. I'll probably, if not this stream, if not the upcoming stream, next Tuesday stream, I'll probably open it up so we can start doing cool Discord stuff. And I just have a couple of things I want to do in the Discord, but I'll, rather than delaying getting the Discord up and running, I will just roll those out with time. But the other cards are in CFA yet? Probably not. They're probably not going to be there till tomorrow morning because they're probably waiting for the card of the day, which is coming tonight. But considering it didn't update when I opened it, it usually doesn't randomly update. But I can check since I have it folder open, but just double check. Also elastics or something? What? What the hell are you talking about? Yeah, no update. Elastils? Oh, yeah, that's like that kickstarted totally not Pokemon game, card game, but yeah. But alright, we'll see you guys Thursday. I forgot what they're revealing on Thursday. Oh, it's the fucking all the girls, right? All the 21 collab stuff. So we'll talk about that. Hopefully that doesn't take forever, and maybe we'll do Deer Days or GFA. We'll see. Maybe more viewer fights. I don't know. We'll see. But stay tuned, I guess. But till next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Collab reveals, yeah. Deer Days, yeah. We can do Deer Days. But till then, take care of yourselves and each other. Play Vanguard and have yourselves a damn good one. Probably do Deer Days because I'm in some tournament. I should probably warm up for that. So we'll do Deer Days.